Hello, Cruising World. Mick the Suit Guy with you. Very special day today. You know why? I got to interview one of the greatest comedians that Carnival and the world has in the wonderful and beautiful human being that is Mr. Cee Jay Jones. So recently, Julie and I were on the Pride, and I got the chance, because I was lucky enough to have this wonderful human being on the ship with us, to sit down and have a little chat with CJ, just ask him a few questions, and I thought I'd share them with you. So, you know, everybody knows my love, that knows me, knows my love of the comedy club and how awesome I can consider all the comedians. Well, 98% of them. Not gonna lie, some of them maybe not as good as the others, but the majority are amazing comedians. And if you ever want to have a good time on a cruise ship, the number one place to go, in my opinion, just my opinion, I would never tell you what to do and what not to do, it is the comedy club. Closely followed by the piano bar, and then me singing karaoke. I had to think of three. Do the first two, not the last one. Anyways, we're going on and on. I just want to get you over to CJ. You don't need to hear me chatter, because this is all about Cee Jay Jones. So what I did is I sat him down, I asked him questions, and I had him answer them for me. So I took me out. You don't need me in this video. This is all you get from me. The rest of it, I hand it over to the wonderful, beautiful Cee Jay Jones. Hello, Cruising World. Mick the Suit Guy. I'm waiting on Cee Jay Jones, one of Carnival's finest comedians. He's going to come in and do a little interview in a minute on Carnival Pride in the middle of the ocean somewhere. I don't know. We're heading back to Tampa on a sea day. So hopefully you'll be here soon, and I'll have a little interview for you. All right, stay tuned.
Why did I become a comedian? Well, it's been said since the day I was born, I've been a comedian all my life. You're the person in the family that always has something to say. Every holiday, I'm always the guy that keeps the family and everybody laughing. I've always been the guy at the party making wisecracks on people over in the corner, and we're laughing, having private jokes. And then I started watching. Of course, I've been a product of the 60s and 70s television, so I watched Ed Sullivan Show and the Johnny Carson Show and Flip Wilson Show. And I've listened to records I wasn't supposed to listen to in my room with my cousins, Richard Pryor tapes and Red Fox party tapes. So as I got older, where I'm from, you never knew that this was a possibility to be a comedian, because it was never encouraged as a kid. I'm from a rural area called Sunbury, North Carolina. So as I got older, I watched it on television around the time when Def Comedy Jam was coming up in 1992. I started watching it on television, and I said, you know what? If they just are that mildly funny and everybody's laughing and enjoying that, I think that I can do that too. But how would I do that in Raleigh, North Carolina? And then I was there was a talent contest called Quangles. It was a snack. It was a snack that this company in Nabisco made, and they put on a comedy competition at a nightclub that I used to frequent, and I decided I'm throwing my hat in the ring and I'm gonna try it. And of course, I lost, because when you go against 5 singers and there's one comedian, always and forever, always beats a dick joke every time. So I did that, kept trying my hand at it. One thing led to another over the years. You get in another contest, and you get in a comedy contest, then finally you go to the comedy clubs, and then you get your chance at open mic, and I never looked back from there. Although I've been doing comedy 30 years this past March, I had been doing it 15 years with a job on the side. And I joined up with Carnival in 2010, the fall of 2010. And I can honestly say they not only enhanced my career, helped my career, they pretty much helped change my comedy life. So I'm thankful for all the opportunities I had, but I'm loving the fact that Carnival gave me that opportunity to make my comedy dreams come true. Second question. What's the second question?
Second question, let me just turn this back on again. So what I'll do is...
I forgot I had a name tag, that's why I was having my hand kind of blocking.
No, and if you want to stop and redo it, just say do over.
Okay.
Because that's been a load. So the next one was, what should people expect from your show?
What should people expect from my show? I like to, as you see, I like to dress up. Most comics don't care about their clothing and their manner of dress, But I come from the business world and banking. It's where you always had to dress, so I always have been sort of a neat dresser. But over the years, I started evolving the colors, and so I love wearing brighter, fashionable clothes, because when people look at me, they'll go, oh, look at this guy, he's some fancy pants, what can he do? He's like, probably come up here being a yuck guy, and then when I hear me, they go, oh my God, he's a freaking lunatic in a necktie. And basically, I throw you off by looking at the clothing, and that completely is what you're focused on. And then when you hear me come out, my mouth opens up, they're going, this dude is an absolute whole fool, and I should have never bought a drink and paid for it because I'm spitting it all over everybody. So that is my goal and what I want that people expect. And when you're at my show, you're in my living room. We're having fun at my house, and that's what we're doing. The things that you would think a comedian would never say but can get away with, that's what you would do in your living room. And when you come to a Cee Jay Jones show, it isn't just a show, it's an absolute experience. And that's what I want you to leave, going back to your home, in your car, back in your cabin. I want you to be going, I can't believe he said that. We got to go back and see this guy again. Or I want them to mostly say, who is this dude? We don't even know him, but he's absolutely hilarious. And that's what I hope you get from a Cee Jay Jones comedy show. Why do I think comedy shows at Carnival are so popular? Because Carnival does something that none of the cruise ships actually do. They try as close as possible to bring the true comedy club experience to the cruise ship. And you say, well, what is that difference? Well, most ships have one particular type of show, like the show is going to be PG and that's going to be it. And there's nothing wrong with that, but what Carnival did when they created a Punchliner, they wanted you to be able to experience every type of comic imaginable. Comics that have guitars in their show, comics that are just totally clean and PG, comics that have spirited language in their show. That might be me, but the fact that I have the opportunity to do a PG show, it gives me a chance to introduce young people to comedy, like little small people. Some guys go, oh my God, it's a kid's show. No, in your mind, you make it a kid's show, it's gonna make you feel awkward and you can't really express your true spirit in the show. But funny is funny, and you don't have to worry about kids in a show. They know what's funny. It's the grown people who are very choosy and particular. Kids know funny is funny, or they're just gonna sit there and stare at you. But then when I get to do the other show, I get to let it hang loose and do my adult show. And when I tell people that my show is explicit, it's not explicit because it's raunchy or dirty. It's explicit because I do that for content. I want you to come in, and if you want to hear somebody talk about everything under the sun, from relationships to family to something that happened on a ship, to politics or religion, and some people, those are the two things that scare everybody. I'm not going to come in here and talk about a politics budget. I'm going to make fun of the people who are supposed to be our leaders, because I talk about hypocrisy in every aspect of society, and then I hold the mirror up to the world and I let you see how silly and stupid we act, and then that allows us to laugh at ourselves, because when you're in my world, anything goes. And once you enter my world, you'll never be the same. I promise you that. So you come to my show at a Carnival comedy show, just forget all the other things you've ever seen in a comedy show, because I'm going to have a little bit of everything in it. Well, social media presence, I'm a gorgeous older guy, old man, caught up in a young person's world. Social media, I don't care what you do, if you're Fortune 500, or if you're just a mom and pop or older comedian such as myself, and I put older, you now have to have a social media presence in entertainment. You can't just tell jokes. You can't just be funny. You have to have a podcast, or you have to at least have a mild foot in the door on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. All I do is I try to make it an interactive page, whereas I show you highlights of what I've done and how much fun people are having at my shows. I'm still could always get better at it. Some comics hate it because when you're older, all you ever had to do was get booked and be funny. Now you have to literally prove yourself. You could be a veteran in this game, such as myself and many other friends of mine. You could be 30 years in the business, and a guy that's 22 years old has been writing skits and doing something silly every day on Instagram because he's committed to it. So he's become a writer, a producer, and an actor. And some of us just don't have that in us to do a skit on a video every day, because one, is just built into the fabric of young people. But you have to kind of dust off the dinosaur dust, as I say, and we have to learn how to be more, I'm trying to find the words for that. We're trying to be more creative and inventive. You just can't tell jokes anymore. You gotta show people how much fun people were having at your shows. So it makes people want to come to your show. And then also, occasionally I put a snippet of material in there. A lot of guys, that's controversial on whether to show a lot of material or not, because you can burn too much of your material once people have seen it. So I think what you want to do is put in your social media a little snippet to show that you make people laugh, then some snippets of audience reactions after it's over with on how much fun they have. And usually in my pictures, I show how much fun people are having at the end of my show, and everybody wants to jump in the picture. It's so funny. I used to take a picture, but when people see you taking a picture, they want to get in the picture. So that shows the enthusiasm post-show. If people were willing to hang around after the show to take a picture with you, you must have done something right. But then I titillate you and hold the carrot out there. Well, maybe you have to check it out and see for sure, because the picture may not tell the whole story. So I gotta go check this guy out. And then I interact with people when they send me messages, when they make comments on the picture. I try to just be interactive and be accessible to people. And that's why I use social media, to kind of help people drive an interest in at least seeing what I'm up to when I travel around the world and meet great guests and other comics and go to great destinations while doing my job. It's the best job ever. Is there a different approach to comedy shows on cruise ships versus comedy clubs? There is a slight different approach, because my formula is I'm going to do my regular comedy show, but look at the palette that I have to paint with. If I'm painting a comedy masterpiece, I'm now on a vessel with anywhere of people of 3,000 to 6,000 people who are on vacation, and 80% of them don't even go on vacation, so they don't even know how to vacation. I now have all of this at my disposal, because I think one of the gifts I've been given is to be in the moment and talk about jokes and things that happen in real time. So while I have my regular show, I then mix in people's vacation life as I see them failing miserably during vacation. And there are tons of people that get it right, but I just integrate some of the things that I've seen. Plus, I then give them the real life experience, because my show is about regular everyday life, is very relevant to people. And then I keep it at street level. I say street level, meaning everybody's gonna get it. Somebody who's 75, somebody who's 25, somebody who's 8 years old. Yes, 8-year-old in my comedy show, I can talk about something that is relatable to everybody from all walks of life. So in that show, it's a big comedy salad mixed up with my regular show. It almost, you pull your show and you almost deconstruct your show. You may have show, sort of some Carnival or whatever cruise line you're on, or Cozumel destination, something that happened to me. I integrate all real life cruising activity into my regular show. So it's not just me talking about an experience on a ship, it's me having some funny experience on a zip line in Mexico, or when I'm riding on ATV and my back locked up, but I had a comedy show that night. And when you talk about all these things, those are real life experiences. Now, when you go back to the comedy club, you can't do, guess what happened to Lido today? Now you have to take your show and put it back together like a jigsaw puzzle. I have to put this piece back, and now I have to put the show back in a nice, neat package of how my life is in real life and all my real life experiences. So sometimes the comedy club does get to see a side of cruising life, but it's only something that's tangible that would make it from the cruise ship that people in the room would understand. So I think both of them help my career, because it then allows me to intrigue people to come and go on a cruise with me, and then you'll get to see what I was talking about. But then if you're in the ship, here's something that happens. 80% of the people on the cruise, are you ready for this? They've never seen a live comedy show. So I have a chance to show them what that experience is like, and if they love it, hopefully they'll come and be my fan, and then they mostly do. They will follow me, and when they see me on land, they come and see me at a comedy show, at a comedy club around America, and that's how you wind up keeping a fan for life. But then also when you do it, how would I say this? When you get them to come on the ship, people will go, I saw you in a comedy club 5 years ago, and it winds up being deja vu. It's both ways. I can take the comedy fan who was already a fan, they go on vacation, they see me here, but then when I make a live comedy fan, now they may go see other comedians and help support the comedy industry. And it's important. People need to know they are who make the comedy business what it is. The crowd, we are the comedian, but there would be no show if there's no audience there to laugh. And I can say this without fail, I'm gonna give the streak at about 7 years since I've been doing comedy all my life, but at least 7 to 8 years, there's been at least 2 Carnival fans in every show I've done on land when I go to land. There hasn't been a show I've had on land that there isn't at least a couple that shows up. And they'll drive, oh man, we drove 2.5 hours to see you. I'm like, wow, I think I'm funny, and I don't even know if I drive that far to see me. But it makes me never mail it in, and I always give the most fabulous comedy show I have the ability to bring, no matter if there are 10 people in the audience or if there are 210, because when you see that people love you that much, how can you mail it in, man? You just gotta give your all on every show. Do I have any best, greatest Carnival stories? I feel like sometimes from the Dave Chappelle show, like Charlie Murphy, true Hollywood stories. I have true Carnival stories, and a couple come to mind. I've had 2 situations where somebody actually wanted to propose. Why? I have no idea. They wanted to propose to their fiance at the comedy show. Of course, behind the scenes, everyone looks at me and goes, it's totally on you. You don't have to do it if you don't want to. And then I go, well, why are you asking me? I don't want to do it. I'm like, and then I'm literally in my mind going, why would they want to do this? Then I go ahead and do it. And it was a couple. Way back in the early 2000s, there was a young couple from South Carolina that got on stage and they proposed, and he did it, and it went swimmingly, because he wanted to make, guys like to make grand gestures, and because I can ask a woman, and I don't think many women would want to be proposed to at a comedy club, but maybe that's a thing they've had when they first met, they were at a comedy club. He does it. The audience goes wild. They play some music. They're celebrating, and then I go on stage with my opening act, and I go, "Man, that was a hard act to follow." I said, "Man, if she had said no, you would have to fake your damn death right here on stage and have a heart attack and guilt her ass into marrying you." And they laughed, and I got a good laugh out of it. Second proposal was quite 2023. I was like doing a show on Carnival Conquest, which is a wild, we call it a turn-up ship. Turn-up ship is 3-day, 4-day, party. It's almost a comic's nightmare. There's noise, they're talking, they're drinking. It's like spring break for people over 35. And it's just like the room is filled with, charged with energy, and two gay guys. Of course, it had to be two gay guys because they wouldn't be gay if they weren't together. So anyway, I'm cracking myself up. They asked me, can I propose to my fiance? Again, I go, why do you want to do it? They have a little ruse going into effect where the comedy club manager comes up on stage and tells everybody, hey, come up and tell your best joke. The guy comes up and then he goes, well, I really don't have a joke. I just would like my friend Rodney. And everybody goes, Rodney? And they're like, look, and they're like, and I'm like, oh my God, we're about to see a gay proposal, which was first on my list, by the way. I haven't been to a lot of gay proposals. So when it happened, it was like, I'm not going to be, how do I say this? I don't want to be off color, but I'm going to be, I can't be because I'm black. So, but the guy was proposing and the other dude was literally, oh my God, he's proposing to me. And I was like, I cannot believe this is actually happening. But everybody was kind of like, yeah, ooh. And it was like this weird mood. But at the end, everybody still reacted the same way because the two guys were handsome as hell, and the women were all mad going, ain't this a bitch? I can't even get a real handsome dude to propose to me. And here are two handsome dudes that are about to get married. So that was my joke on that. I said there are a lot of women that are pissed right now because two gorgeous men just got taken off the market, but they weren't even your flavor anyway. So how cool is that? And lastly, I do all different, we do all different kind of demographics. And demographics are like, you do New Orleans, like the Bayou. You do LA, which is West Coast. West Coast is very laid back. There are weed pens and glasses of wine. They show up late for every comedy show, but they pack it like 5 minutes before the show starts. Then you go to Louisiana, they're noisy, rowdy, everybody's got a Saints jersey on. So I'm there and I'm hanging out and I have a young lady that comes up to me and goes, I really loved your show, Cee Jay, kind of country accent. So where are you from with that country accent? She goes, I'm from Louisiana. And I go, you from Louisiana? What's your name, darling? She goes, Quita. Now, a lot of times when we hear the name Quita, we unknowingly have bias and we think that is a black woman, but I'm here to tell you she was whiter than white, and her name was Quita. And I said, there's no way your name is Quita. And she showed me her sailing sign card and it said Quita Parish in quotes because guest services had put her name in parentheses. I said, I've seen one for the books. Then she said, yes, I'm Quita. She goes, I always get that. People always say I have a black name. And I said, well, there are really no black or white names. It's just culturally, that's what we think. She tells me a story about she goes to a party and with her girlfriend Stacy, who is black. And we all know that when we say Stacy and Quita are coming to the party, everybody knows who they think Quita is when she walks in the room. So it goes, when they get there, the two guys, some guys saw them coming in the room and they said, hey, Quita. And the black chick, excuse my expression, she goes, yo, you kiss my ass. My name is Stacy. That's Quita. And I told that story at the cruise. I didn't think how well it would go over. Everybody's rolling. Everybody's dying. That black, I call the joke, black Stacy and white Quita. And everybody's laughing. Now, when I tell the joke, I'm going, oh man, I just made a successful joke based off of another person that told me a story. I said, hey, Mark Twain would be proud. Not to be outdone, Quita stands up in the middle of my show and goes, that's me, I'm Quita. Everybody was freaking dying all over the place. I looked at her, I'm like, sit your ass down. Damn it, you upstaging me. I was like, I had a perfectly good laugh and you gotta come and show up and be the real damn person in my joke. But how could I really be mad? She just got me a laugh and then she turned around and got an even bigger laugh. And that's what Carnival is really about. the experience of people getting their 5 minutes of fame. Sometimes you luck up and get it in a comedy show. Sometimes you're at used to be the old Harry chess contest, where now it's in Carnival Quest, or it's karaoke. Carnival believes in letting people be a part of the fun, and you get to activate the fun, baby, by participating and being a part of it. That's why I love Carnival, and that's why I love my job being a stand-up comedian.
Cee Jay Jones. Wonderful, wonderful. I'm so happy he had the time, or found the time, or made the time, whatever the way you want to look at it, to sit down with me and have a little chat and share some of his thoughts and opinions, and hope that makes you excited to want to go to a comedy club. So I look forward to the next time I see Cee Jay, and the next time I see a comedian, which is going to be the wonderful Doug Williams, coming up on the Radiance. Who's luckier than me? Go to the comedy club. If you're easily offended, do not go to the comedy club. And if you are easily offended and you go to the comedy club and you don't GTFO, as they say, before the show, don't go and complain. I've said this a million times. We'll leave it there. I ain't going to bore you with the details. You know. If you're easily offended, don't go. And if you are easily offended, I feel sorry for you. No, I don't. I understand that some people it's not for everybody, of course. But if it's not for you, don't go. Don't complain. Nobody cares what you think. You know, they care what you think by you not going, because they respect that. What they don't respect is you going knowing you don't really want to go, and then you complaining about what you didn't want to do in the first place. Oh, I could go on and on and on, but I'm not going to. I'm merely going to say thank you again to Cee Jay. Make sure you go to the comedy club, support the comedians. They work hard for you. Hard. Looking at us in the audience, look what they've got to work with. Not always easy, is it? A bunch of drunks. And if you're there on the weekend on a booze cruise, on a 3 and 4 day cruise, try not to hassle the comedians. Try and respect the comedians. They're there for you. You're not there for them. Well, you are because you laugh, but you're not there. See, I'm rabbiting again. End it now, Mick. End it now. All right, I'm going to end it there. Subscribe if you would like to. Ask me any questions. Send me your tips if you have any tips. I'd love your tips. And by the way, if anybody noticed, yes, this is my brand new suit. I will be donning it on the Radiance next week. Shoes are en route from China, so I hope they arrive in time. It's today. I'm not going to say what the date is because I pre-record these, but whatever the day is today, the shoes are on the plane from China. Let's hope they make it. If not, I got backups. But anyway, send me your tips, my weekly tips. Send me your cruising traditions. Subscribe, ask me any questions, blah, 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 blah. But most importantly, thank you to Cee Jay, and go to the Punchliner Comedy Club. And go to a comedy club ashore. It's not just on a comedy ship. You have to enjoy comedy. They are all over the world. See you later, Cruising World. Any questions? Email me anytime. cruisingsuitguy@gmail.com. I promise I'll reply as soon as possible. Want to book a cruise or any type of travel? We are travel agents. Check out our site, elitetravelconnection.com, or email me, mick@elitetravelconnection.com. We are here for you. Finally, subscribe, please. Pretty please. You know you want to. Go on. I won't beg you. Okay, I'm begging. Please. Subscribe. Thank you.